some really tough questions. They live in all parts of the valley, so their concerns are not just to North Las Vegas, and, specifically, but also for things that are affecting Southern Nevada in general. Hector Rivera is joining us this morning. Mr. Rivera, if you can give us just a brief bio on yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. First of all, I'd like to thank all the veterans in the room for their service. You're a major part of, who we are here in America. So I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I grew up in a very working class family right out of high school. I did not go straight to college. I worked a lot of what people call dead-end jobs. 30 to 40 hours a week alongside other heads of family. Well, I myself was not a head of family, but I worked alongside heads of family that I thought it was a little unfair that they were willing to work 30 to 40 hours a week but still have to struggle to make it paycheck to paycheck, and still have to struggle if their children, got the flu. They have to stress out about how to worry, how to pay for it. So my inspiration to get involved is to help those that need help and the underrepresented. So that's why I'm here today.
Thank you very much. We will start our questioning. Which one of our panelists would like to go first? Rob Lauer.
I just want you to expand real quick before I ask my question. So, are you saying in your opening statement you support the $15 an hour minimum wage? Is that your...
Well, at the statewide level, and all across, I believe that a prevailing wage is very important. I think that specifically in areas in North Las Vegas, I don't think that maybe every business is ready for $15 an hour, but I think that the Jack in the Boxes, the McDonald's, the Burger Kings, the corporate fast food entities, I think that they are ready to pay $15 within 4 to 6 years. Yes.
Okay, so I'm glad you established that.
Yes.
So where do you get $15 an hour as a base for a living wage? Does that apply to someone who has who's the head of the household and has 3 or 4 kids and a spouse living at home? Can they afford to live on $15 an hour?
I don't think it's enough, quite frankly.
So why not $50 an hour?
Well, I think you have to set a standard, and I think that $50 an hour across the board is a little much for our economy to work with right now. But I think I think there are many groups that feel that $15 an hour is both fair for the corporate America and fair for the people that are willing to work 30 to 40 hours a week, a difficult job.
Our next question from Robert Faust.
So, as a city councilman, you would have a lot of say over, say, people that come into your community, new immigration. So I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Mr. Bouchard. Where are you at on the sanctuary city policy? God bless you. Would you vote to accept money to become a sanctuary city in North Las Vegas?
Yes, well, see, I don't believe that it's the leader's job to categorize exactly what a sanctuary city is or what a sanctuary city isn't. I'm more interested, instead of calling us we're this, we're that, I'm interested in the policy. I believe that if federal agents want custody of an individual, there's a way to do that, and that is through a federal warrant. And if somebody is undocumented and they are in police custody and they did a crime that is deemed violence, or if they are deemed, there should be a list. If somebody gets stopped for a broken taillight, I don't believe they should be turned over to the federal agents unless they're wanted for some sort of crime that they've done in the past. If somebody's a good citizen, let's say a DACA student that came here when they were 5 years old, they've been law-abiding, they went to college, they've never done anything wrong, and a peace officer stops him or her for a broken taillight, I don't believe that person should stress out about whether or not he or she should be deported. If that person's a criminal, they certainly belong behind bars, either here or their country of origin or somewhere. And if that person's a criminal, I think that police should act, to turn that person over to the authorities. And if not, if they're a member of the community, then I think there's another set of rules for that.
So just to clarify,
Yes.
So is it a yes or no on sanctuary city North Las Vegas becoming?
Well, I don't think that what does it mean? I don't. There's no
There's a
definition.
legal definition right now under federal law.
What was that?
There's a legal definition
There
under
is?
federal law, and ICE has identified specifically what that is. That's when a law enforcement agency does not turn over illegal aliens to ICE.
Okay.
That's the
And they receive money for not doing it.
But
Well-
do you believe that that should be law? So do you believe the city should violate federal U.S. code and not turn over illegal aliens to ICE? Yes or no?
Well, let me tell you, I think that police need to be able to engage the community and be able to say who did this crime, and if the person that saw the crime, if he himself or herself is undocumented, then they're not going to be willing to work with the police. So I think that it depends. If the person's a criminal, yes. If the person's came here when they were young and they've never broken a law and maybe they're a college graduate, then no, I don't believe so. So I think it depends.
Oh, but these are people who broke
Wait.
These are people who broke the law and were arrested.
Yeah.
So they're people who broke the law and were arrested.
These are follow-up questions. I think he's already established how he feels about it on the broader
help him.
picture. That's okay.
Well,
Because to be very honest, this is the first time this morning I've heard about this issue of sanctuary city, which I can tell is very important to the panelists. But it's not something that apparently is on point for most of our candidates. So let's kind of give them a break on this one. We're going to move on to another
Well,
question. Can you answer that one?
well, that's my answer. My answer is it depends. Okay. So what happens if somebody works and they use somebody else's social security number? Well, then that person's technically a criminal because they were using somebody else's social security number. But guess what? The restaurant owner that turned the other way and didn't double check everything purposefully, they don't get in trouble. It's the person that was just trying to work and have a better life for his or her family. If somebody's here and they're willing to work and they're willing to work hard jobs, I don't think we should criminalize people.
I guess if it was your social security number stolen, you might have a problem with it.
I've been through that.
Rob.
I've actually been through
Okay,
that. No.
panelists, come on. We all have to follow the rules here. We're going to move on. Andre Haynes is asking the next question. Thank you very much, Mr. Rivera.
Thank you for being open and honest about your position.
Yes.
I want to ask something similar. With that being said, if you were to look at crimes committed by everybody, it could be I get a traffic ticket for speeding, I fail to go to court, a warrant is issued.
Right.
Never committed any crimes before, picked up, go to jail. It could be someone claiming children that were not born to them or adopted on their taxes as dependents to receive money on a tax return. Do you think financial crimes, civil crimes, like what I just described, do you think those should be the perpetrators and defendants should be prosecuted differently versus someone who commits a crime of bodily harm, like a break-in and entering, burglary, carjacking, who beat up somebody? Do you think those crimes should be treated differently for anybody?
Well, that's a difficult answer because many times I think that the people that commit the white collar crimes, it's a little easier to. I mean, they're viewed upon as less serious. As a society, obviously, I mean, maybe not obviously, I'm sorry. I think that we view something, violent as worse than somebody trying to embezzle money or something like that. But I think that itself it's bad because many times if a white collar let's say white collar fraud that meets somebody losing his or her family's home or something like that, that's a very serious crime. My main thing is in North Las Vegas to get our bail is very high, and that affects working class people very much. So I would try to have a task force to look at that because Nevadans as a whole are bails high compared to other states, but North Las Vegas, we have a very large amount of working class people, and when the bail's so high that the average North Las Vegas resident cannot pay it, it just leads to this perpetual, being behind bars for something petty. So that's something I would address. You asked me a very sociological question. I mean, I think it depends. It really depends.
Our next panelist, Tim Pitar.
So thank you for showing up, by the way. I really
thank you.
appreciate it when we have people actually show up for our time. Because, the other guys are wasting our time and not showing up. So thank you for coming first for us. So I kind of wanted to hound you on immigration, but we're just going to leave it on the table here. Here's an interesting question for you. So I live in North Las Vegas. Full disclosure, I'm in Ward 3, so I'm not your voter, but I'll ask you anyway. Because it's kind of general sentiment. What is your kind of vision for North Las Vegas, being that we're kind of like a giant Las Vegas? Where do you see us differentiating ourselves from Las Vegas to make our own unique identity? Because right now in North Las Vegas, there's really nothing to do. You can get a piece of pizza, you can maybe go to the movies on Almase, that's about it. There's really nothing for us to do. Everyone comes down south. What is your kind of vision to make us our own identity?
Yes, thank you for the question. We need like a downtown area, or like a plaza, or a place where a family could come walk their dog, maybe walk a little bit with their children, and enjoy what I think would be great, some small business. We're all spread out. I think a nice centralized area where high school students could come have ice cream, where families could come and maybe we could have some events where we show movies in the park and stuff like that. We have stuff like that. We have parks on the edge, and then we have businesses in some area, but we don't have that kind of modern park slash business area slash plaza slash downtown walk area. So I think that's something that we should, as a city, it would be in our best interest to have that. It would make everybody's area, raise in value, and promoting good, original, small business along with an area where a family can come out and just relax. I think that's something that we need, and for our city to have. Like you said, everybody just goes down south or goes to a casino for something. We need something a little more unique. We have plenty of wonderful nights in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, with beautiful weather, and we should take advantage of it.
Greg Drummond is our next question.
First off, thanks again for coming. Yes, it's been said. Secondly, just so you know, we all don't have the same agreement on everything. All the panel members, we don't necessarily have that same agreement.
Yes.
For example, I may not agree with any of my panel members on issues of immigration and what a city can or can't do.
Absolutely.
But first off, regardless of that, I think we all appreciate your honesty because we want a real answer, and that's what the voters want. And so I just want to let you know that we do appreciate that, regardless of if you may think somebody's agreeing with you or not. That's not the purpose of being a leader. The purpose is to let us know what your position is and go from there. What are the two things that you would have as your primary goals as a city councilman that you would like to see, that you would either spearhead or something that you would really be behind to support regarding the city of North Las Vegas?
Yes, well, something that has to do with the charter itself that I think would improve the city. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Something that I think would improve the city would be a charter change, and there's various ways to do this. But I think that the city manager and the city attorney should be directly elected. There's cities all across the nation where people get to have city managers and city attorneys go through the same process that I'm going through, and ask them, well, what are your plans for the city? Where do you stand on this issue? Where do you stand on that issue? Right now, the way the charter reads, basically all the city manager and the city attorney have to do is keep the mayor happy. And as interesting as that concept is, I think they should be keeping the people of North Las Vegas happy. And that be a specific change where we'd actually, as a community, get to interview these people for months ahead of time, instead of the mayor just, hey, surprise, these are the two people that I picked, so that's something that I think would be important. And secondly, to be honest with you, would be the same, downtown plaza that I think would be wonderful for the city. You could, today the way we build things is beautiful, the way we incorporate local art, you know, a walkway, you know, a small dog area, some local business, some art along the way. I think that would be perfect for North Las Vegas. Right now, the fanciest building we have is City Hall, which is, you know, that's nice and all, but that's where, you know, all those people are. We need something that's nice for our community. So those would be my two things that I would introduce.
We have one last follow-up question from Cedric.
So, I worked kind of hard on this, so here's a fun question for you. Oh, gotcha. It came up last discussion with our mayor candidate, Bashar. I'm going to ask you the same question. Would you be inclined or would you be open to renaming our city so we're not just a diet Las Vegas? Would you think it'd be an interesting idea to have the people vote, maybe come up with 10 names and vote on to change our city name to make us that distinctive other city, just like Henderson? Would you be open to that?
Yes, I mean, I'm all about voting, you know, like if people want to vote on something, that's fine, but I do think that North Las Vegas should be an option. People should have an option to say, hey, you know, let's keep it the same as well, because I think that even though you say, I mean, West Virginia is just like Virginia with West in front of it, you know, so, I mean, I think we could also be proud of North Las Vegas, and if we introduce, you know, more pro-Las Vegas things, that would be, that would be great. I think that, you know, I'm all about transparency. I'm all about keeping things fair. What's going on right now in my ward is very interesting because there's this group called the America Votes Table, and they're coordinating with this other group called Mi Familia Vota. And my opponent actually is friends with the field director of the America Votes Table. So he's manipulating the America Votes Table to manipulate Mi Familia Vota to campaign against me, which is pretty ridiculous because I've already talked about my stance on immigration. I'm actually more proactive on immigration than the council member, but yet, you know, it's one of those backdoor Nevada deals where, you know, he's manipulating so he's already cheating. You know, I'm all about being open, I'm all about being transparent, I'm all about being honest. So, you know, I'm happy to come back in the future. I'm happy to work with anybody in the future. My phone number is 702-403-8332. My website's hectorrivera.org. We're still developing it. You know, that some of my specific city stances are not up yet. Like some of the projects and stuff like that.
Well, we have a couple of minutes, so can you just sort of emphasize those? What are, give us like maybe 3 or 4 bullet points of the things, your stances right now.
Yes, well, I think that bringing a downtown is very important. I mean, bringing a centralized area where the community could come and enjoy themselves is you know, paramount. But also, if you go to a lot of working class areas in North Las Vegas, it gets really dark at night. It gets really dark at night. The lights are, you know, there, but many times they're not bright enough. And then people wonder why, oh, how come everybody on this block has this huge dog? Well, I'll tell you why, because when the lights go out, it's, you know, super scary. I think just bringing more safety at night once the sun goes down to North Las Vegas is paramount when it comes to importance. You know, we hear very often that, oh, we got to make it so that kids could walk home from safely from school, and that's, of course, very, very important. But also, you know, we got to make it so that kids, when they're walking home from doing their homework or from skateboarding or from, you know, just being a kid, you know, when they're on their way home, they should still, you know, have, you know, the cover of our tax dollars, you know, paying for those lights, because darkness, absolute darkness, really makes a big difference in safety. I also believe that the city's been very reactionary when it comes to like the stray animals in the area. It seems like they're always trying to catch up with, you know, so many stray puppies and kittens out in the neighborhood. I think that we need like a true long-term plan to deal with, you know, the kittens and the puppies that are stray, because if we keep on looking for these short, you know, answers that like we have to fix every 6 months, it's this perpetual thing, and you know, it leads to, you know, they turn over garbage cans, you know, they just, you know, it leads to more trash around the city ultimately. I really think that corporate entities like the Carl's Jr.'s of the world, the Jack in the Boxes of the world, the Burger Kings of the world. When they come into an area, we should really analyze how much they're paying as far as, tax and how much that goes to the city. Because those fast food restaurants, as much as once in a while you'll catch me, eating a jumbo jack, even though it's very bad for you. And of course, when you're supposed to boycott them, I boycott them as well. But they add trash to the community, and they don't give our locals good jobs per se. And they're one of the number one groups that underemploy. Underemployment is huge in Nevada. So many people out there, we all know people that want to work full time, but don't get the hours that they want, because it's easier for corporations just to pay 100 people 100 people to work 25 hours a week instead of paying 50 people to have a full work schedule. So I think it's not out of the, it shouldn't be that crazy for us to look into maybe a luxury tax or a fast food tax for the city, and use that specific money for beautification of our roads and our potholes and our crosswalks, and add crossing guards with that money. Because these are, this is America. I'm not against any corporation, making money. That's what it's all about. But they should, if they're going to be a part of our community, they should buy into it and protect our community as well. Because many times they come into an area and they rework, the traffic in the area, and sometimes, they put up a mom and pop shop out of business because it's hard to compete with 2 tacos for $1. So yes, that's some of my points of view. So I'd like to thank everybody. Any more questions or anything like that?
I think we're good. Thank you very much, Hector Rivera. Candidate for North Las Vegas Council.